here again. I've been on the platform for some time, but it's just a matter of preparing myself and I'm trying to start get my trading account started. I'm going to go with $250. Said before, I am trying to get this music down. It's a little bit too loud. Alright, so I'm about to get my account started, and of course it will be the demo I've been using is a Forex demo for quite some time, and since I'm most comfortable with this, and I've done my homework and I'm pretty much comfortable with the platform, so I'm gonna attempt a live session with it. Alright, so obviously if you are starting with $250, you will have to have your marbles all lined up and understand the what is it that you're risking. So your risk and reward has to be correct, your strategy has to be correct, the lot size that you buy depending on what you're trading has to be good as well. Pretty much we know what has been happening in the market. Trading period that I basically pretty much cut my teeth and I could see was the Euro USD, and that's pretty much what I focused on I should say for the majority of time that I've been trading the demo. However, based on what's happening worldwide with the whole COVID, especially in the US market, US market, it has become very a little bit on the choppy side, really choppy, and it means that, well, as a trader, what I've learned, you have to be flexible as well. So you just can't be, have your blinkers on and you're just looking straight ahead. You have to be focused. And so what has happened is that I have also explored other trading peers. Alright, so I looked at the GBP USD. I looked at USD CHF. Right, so went, really looked across the board to see what's happening, because what has happened is that if you are trading, if you're really just focusing on one pair, and sometimes there's just not the opportunity there to do any trade. Right? It's based on the style that you have. Well, based on the style that I have, it tends to be breakouts, and then you try to stay on the trend, right? But if nothing is happening, it's best that you have a wider range to pick from to see if you can find where something is actually happening. And right, so I looked at quite a number of pairs, and keeping in mind the demo obviously was $10,000, but I wanted to be as realistic as possible with myself, knowing the amount that you're going to trade with, and to kind of mimic the conditions that you're going to be and the money that you're going to be trading with, right? So I think I got this thing to almost 300 and a little bit. I'm going to be starting with 250. And so what is it that, based on my trading style, that would allow me to generate some meaningful movement in terms of addition to the funds that you deposited, right, without doing anything crazy? So I looked on quite a number of pairs, as I said, and then of course I looked on the spot gold from the US side, right? On the spot gold, it's pretty similar on the Australian. I think this is the Australian spot gold as well, but this is the one I pretty much was looking on, and it is pretty volatile, but it's moving, right? And if you keep your lot size respectable based on the amount of you have to do your costing, right, and make sure everything lines up so that you're not overexposing yourself. Believe it or not, I see where, well, some movements can be made to bring up the deposited amount to a fairly respectable amount, so that you can do some trading using the spot gold. And so the lot size that I chose was a 0.10. Pretty much that means, right, so if the lot size is 0.10, that means for every 100 pips that I make, then that will be equal to 10 pips, right? So for every 100 pips that I make, that would be equal to 10 pips. But because this is so volatile and it does move, especially these last few days, because it seems as if most traders are moving away from the Euro USD, with what's happening in the US market, with the corona and everything that's happening there. We're not here to discuss economics per se, but more persons are going into the gold, right? And so you're having a lot of movement here. So pretty much you're having a lot of liquidity, but it is still volatile, right? We have to keep in mind as well that the Euro USD, I'm saying green in that the spot gold market went to its highest ever, right? So when you look, see if we can get this thing smaller, right? Oops, it's a little bit too small, but you see what I'm talking about, all right? So this is from 2000 all the way up, so it's at its highest peak ever, right? And so persons run to the US dollar for safety, but right now they're running to pretty much gold for safety. So that's what's happening, right? But it's still a volatile situation, and so you had some good movements. It went up. Obviously, you have to have a little pullback in terms of correction, right? And so pretty much when I looked at it, look at the account history right here, right? So that means this is $26 here. That would be 260 pips, right? 181, that would be 1,810 pips. Right? That is the type of movement that you're looking at right here. It's 18 now, that's 180 pips, right? So based on what I'm looking at, if I'm able to scale that up, right, then so you increase your lot size as you go along. Trust me, talking about a lot of money. Last night, of course, it's Eastern Standard Time that I'm looking at, that I'm in. You know, I wasn't sure about this movement, so I was kind of picking along as I was going on. But look on this movement, guys. This is 9,000. I mean, it's almost a 10,000 pip movement, right? Right? If you're looking at that movement in terms of what is happening, almost 10,000 pip movement. So, you know, it's a little bit. It's not everything you can pick up because, I mean, as they're just picking at it as you went along, thinking maybe you might have a drawback at any time, but I mean it went straight down, right? So it's that movement right here. So it's very volatile, but so there's a lot of movement right there, right? So there's still movements. It's a lot of movement, but I think it's liquid as well. It's pretty liquid. So it means there are also opportunities here. It's not for the person with a weak heart, right? But once you have your fundamentals correct, you know, you work out your lot size, you know, work it out so that you're not risking anything. You're not going to blow up your account, because I mean, if you do it wrong, you can just blow your account in one hit, one trade, right? So don't go for the big trade. You trade as normal. Use all the fundamentals, right? And I definitely can see where some movement can be made, because pretty much I think from last night when I actually started using this, I brought the account up to pretty much I think about $300, right? So yeah, it was just about $300, so that's about 3,000 pips, and that is out of the what should I say now? Out of the what was the amount we said? We said it was almost. So we get it right here. It's almost. Yeah, we're talking about what 10,000 pip movement. So I got $300, 3,000 out of it, right? However, as I said, it's volatile. So when you dig in a little bit closer, right? Because you know, to make the trading, generally you try to trade on the, right? Don't try to trade on a 1 hour chart, but to actually enter the market, you have to go 5 minutes and then 1 minute, right? And you can see that again, even though we had that drastic movement, you have to be careful in terms of how you enter the trade, right? What I mean is that if you look on the wicks, it had a lot of long wicks, right? If you go to the 1 hour chart, then you'll be able to see you had a lot of pretty long wicks, right? For here example, if you enter the chart on this wick right here and you set your stop, unless your stop was very large, which it's not going to be that, you probably would have gotten stopped out, right? If you entered here and you didn't get stopped out here, but your stop loss was here, you'd have gotten stopped out right here, right? Here again, if you look, if you entered here and you decide to hold, right, hoping the market's going to go down, you'd have gotten stopped out right here. So the week was long. Alright, so unless you were able to, again, it's based on the amount of money, and I'm working with it's a small amount of money, right? Lot size is at 0.1, meaning for every 100 pips you're gonna make $10. So even with that, I got stopped out a couple of times, as you would have seen the account history, right? But I was able to get some confidence and hold it, and got some runs, making decent entry, got a few runs out of it. But it's something I'm gonna watch going forward. Hopefully, as I said before, all things being equal, I'll have the funds in my account. Hope it's by this week. I mean, I've set things in motion, but we'll just see certain things out of my control. Alright, so just an update, guys, and of course we're gonna start going back to the daily updates, and let's be positive and let's get this thing going. So peace out, and look forward to conversing with you guys tomorrow again. Alright, remember to subscribe to the channel. As I said, we're going to really be making that push now. Race is not for the swift, it's for those who can endure. So we will be making a push starting this week, going forward. So please subscribe to the channel, and let's be positive and go at it.